Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Yeah, S works, everyone put it in their hands. You know it's a vibe, they're waiting in line to get up and flood up the stands. Yeah, we in this together, we feeling like fam. It's all about peace, so pull up with friends. You better come through with you and your crew, cause everybody going in. S works, so we keep it lit. You can see how we move the city from the west side to the east. Ooh, you can feel how we leave through. It's all about the youth. Change the world through the tunes. Make the world to a better place. And S works, what we do.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works, keep my family out the dirt. This organization, we stopping no Satan and open mic, we call it Swerks. Action on Taylor, the killer verse. I do on my family, my city hurt. They killing our babies, this work on crazy. I pray for my city to reimburse. Private schools for the kids, we the city and we litty. All I know is it's work, working hard, keep it busy. Know the life keep it tricky, but please just let me finish. Let me just be a witness. S works, handle business.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works.
Ready or not, here we come. South side, west side, east side, north side. Up on the run, we ain't for the none. We came in the party, we here for the fun. Celebrate life, the party we young. Sky's the limit, we looking above. We up in the sun, no matter what, we stay on the run. Ha, S work, do your thing. S work, keep it lit. Bullseye, keep your aim. Yeah, we up on the jib. North side, that's the way. Ready or not, here we come. S work, keep the energy. Look, yeah, we never unplug. S work, show some love.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Yeah, S works, everyone put it in their hands. You know it's a vibe, they're waiting in line to get up and flood up the stands. Yeah, we in this together, we feeling like fam. It's all about peace, so pull up with friends. You better come through with you and your crew, cause everybody going in. S works, so we keep it lit. You can see how we move the city from the west side to the east. Ooh, you can feel how we leave through. It's all about the youth. Change the world through the tunes. Make the world to a better place. And S works, what we do.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works, keep my family out the dirt. This organization, we stopping no Satan and open mic, we call it Swerks. Action on Taylor, the killer verse. I do on my family, my city hurt. They killing our babies, this work on crazy. I pray for my city to reimburse. Private schools for the kids, we the city and we litty. All I know is it's work, working hard, keep it busy. Know the life keep it tricky, but please just let me finish. Let me just be a witness. S works, handle business.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works.
Ready or out, here we come. South side, west side, east side, north side. Up on the run, we ain't finna none. We came in the party, we here for the fun. Celebrate life, the party we young. Sky is the limit, we looking above. We up in the sun, no matter what, we stay on the run. Ha, ass work, do your thing. Ass work, keep it lit. Bullseye, keep your aim. Yeah, we up on the jib. North side, that's the way. Ready or not, here we come. Ass work, keep the energy. Look, yeah, we never unplug. Ass work, show some love. Yeah.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Yeah, S works. Everyone put it in their hands. You know it's a vibe. They're waiting in line to get up and flood up the stands. Yeah, we in this together. We feeling like fam. It's all about peace. So pull up with friends. You better come through with you and your crew, cause everybody going in. S works, so we keep it lit. You can see how we move the city from the west side to the east. Ooh, you can feel it how we leap through. It's all about the youth. Change the world through the tunes. Make the world to a better place. And S works what we do.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social works. Keep my family out the dirt. This organization, we stopping no Satan and open, but we call it Swerks. Action and Taylor, the killer verse. I do on my foot, my city hurt. They killing our babies, this work on crazy. I pray for my city to reimburse. Private schools for the kiddies. We the city, yeah, we litty. All I know is it's work. Work hard, keep it busy. Know the life can be tricky, but please just let me finish. Let me just be a witness. S works, handle business.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works.
Ready or not, here we come. South side, west side, east side, north side. Up on the run, we ain't finna none. We came in the party, we here for the fun. Celebrate life, the party we young. Sky is the limit, we looking above. We up in the sun, no matter what, we stay on the run. Ha, ass work, do your thing. Ass work, keep it lit. Bullseye, keep your aim. Yeah, we up on the jib. North side, that's the way. Ready or not, here we come. S work, keep the energy. Look, yeah, we never unplug. S work, show some love. Yeah.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, social works, social works. Social
Sworkshops are a series of online workshops featuring the many incredibly talented friends of SocialWorks. This series aims to inspire and educate, bringing local and national creatives live to your smartphone. They will be sharing and teaching specific aspects of their craft. A wide variety of professions, interests, and hobbies are represented within our curriculum. Did we mention it's a fundraiser too? The stay-at-home notice has students wondering what's to come. For some, graduation and prom will both be canceled. This campaign will directly fundraise a celebration event for those students within the Chicagoland area. Once it's safe, of course. Tune in to any of our socials for one or all of the workshops. You can find the full schedule of programming at socialworksshy.org or on our Instagram. Classes start Monday, April 13th. We'll see you there.
Hey, what's up? I'm Nico Washington. I'm an artist from Chicago. And you're here with SocialWorks. Workshops for the prom fund. This is a donation. So if there's a link below, my black bar. There's a link directly on Instagram, raising money for prom and graduation. So get right into it. I'm an oil painter. I primarily do, contemporary. But during this quarantine, it's given me a lot of parameters and a lot of things that I had to get over, like space, material. Because right now I'm in a basement. I've been at home. So right now. Cool. Sorry about that. My connection cut out. Again, I'm artist Nico Washington. I'm from Chicago. I'm a contemporary painter. And here today, I'm telling you how to paint with what you have at your disposal in your house. Due to COVID, we've been sequestered in our homes. We've had, most of us, including me, have had limited access to a lot of materials that I have in my studio. I primarily paint in oil, and oil painting in the house, is a thing, but it's really messy, and it puts a lot of wear on sinks and a lot of on stuff that I don't own. So I try not to do that. So for right now, I'm using some tea. I got some turmeric. I got wet and I soaked a little bit, and I got some shea butter. And my other bases, I'm using watercolor. I have some charcoal. I got pencils, a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's all stuff that I had artist bin that I've had over the years. I'm a mixed media artist, but I try. I do one medium, but I also like to mix them up. So if you want to follow along, you can grab stuff, whatever you have in your house. If you're gonna do something that's not paint, like a spice or food or a drink, I would suggest that you wouldn't do something that's sweet or anything that's sticky, because you don't want to attract any flies. You don't want the work to deteriorate and just it's not good. You don't want that. So right now, since the connection went out, I was basically talking to myself, but I already started painting a little bit. What I was saying was before, and I do a lot of abstract work, but it's figurative. So I don't really work based off models or pictures that often. If I do, I'll still put my own spin on it. I'll still make it my own. But right now, we're just going off the top. I'm starting with a blue base, and I'm mixing the paint with the tea. So instead of water from a watercolor, I'm using a tea, and it has this nice color to it. It's going to put this nice tones in the paint, depending on how saturated and diluted it is. If you are following, it does help if you did brew it. So if you do want to put some tea on and come back to it and use it, you always can. I always start with it because it's not that strong of a color. It doesn't have that much. It doesn't have any pigment in it, but it will stain the paper and it will make this nice stain texture. So it's good to start off with it as a base, maybe add on to it, but it's not good to go over stuff because you don't really see it that much. Like I said before, if you feel free to ask any questions, the team will relay them to me, and I can see if we can answer them. It'll be all fun. Again, we are here for a fundraiser for prom. Shout out to Social Works. Shout out to Essence, Justin, Chance, Mary, everybody at the Social Works team. So right now, this one I'm doing, I'm starting off kind of dark to light, and the next one I have next to me, I'm gonna do light to dark. They always say you should do light to dark first, but you could kind of make your own rules as you go. You find your own style, you find your own comfort zone, and you do what makes you happy, what drives you. A lot of people feel like they can't draw because they've been too, taught art in school. They're taught a certain way to do it, and that way didn't really resonate with them, or they felt like, they weren't emulating that specific way. So I think it's important that you find what you love and what you want out of it. One of the first questions I got from Instagram, what's the most interesting type of canvas you painted on? I would say the most interesting type of canvas I painted on would be the Soho House Music Room. The first U27 artist, under 27 artists to do a residency in that one. And it was cool because we whited out the whole room. We put a drywall over this room that's really a lounge. It's really made for sitting and drinking and eating and entertainment. But what we had wetted the whole room out. You can see it on my Instagram. And I painted for 4 days nonstop. I had no plan. I just got paint, and it was just more of like a practice of. It's really tranquil. It's really peaceful. It's really just like expressive. Just making marks on this room. You know, a lot of background. A lot of my homies did graffiti. I grew up in that, but I never really loved it that much. Like my big homies did it. But just making marks on stuff that's not supposed to, you know, be there necessarily. I treat my paintings the same way. I'm not so sacred with them. If I have something that I'm really attached to, I learn to let it go. I might wipe it out. I might cross it out. I might do big lines over it because, you know, nothing is permanent. Nothing. You shouldn't be attached to so much different things in this world. It's very, you know, everything is moving. So I try to keep my art in the same room as that. Like I said before, you know, it doesn't matter what you're using with this paint. You can use literally whatever you have at your disposal, and it'll be just as good. And if you have watercolor paper, it's really interesting because you can blend, you can do these different things. I'm using regular paper, so it's important not to soak it too much because it'll really wrinkle really bad. But there are ways I can tell you how to get rid of that. One way to get rid of wrinkles, it sounds counterintuitive. You can spray it a little bit of water and put, you know, maybe a piece of cardboard over both sides and put it under a heavy surface like a dresser or something that's very flat and cannot have any indents in it. Very flat surface. Keep it there for hours and it'll be straight. You should do it in printmaking all the time when I was in school. I think it's important when you have in your work that you find your own visual language. You find what makes you happy, what makes you move, what makes you tick, and you try to express that the best way you can. It's just like when I was in school, they had you do this project. They had you walk to the Art Institute. I went to the Art Institute of Chicago, downtown, School of Art Institute. And they asked, you know, to walk to the museum and pick some of your favorite work and pick your least favorite. And I picked work. I don't remember what work I picked that I liked. It was something very powerful, something very, you know, to me at the time I thought was well done, well drawn, you know, very solid. One of the works I picked that I didn't really like too much was an artist by the name of Cy Twombly. And, you know, because I had this idea that, you know, art has to be a certain way. It has to look a certain way. It has to be complete in my mind. The canvas has to be completely filled. It has to be, in a way, perfect. And that, you know, sort of jaded me from seeing the true beauty of art and that it can be just completely expressive if you wanted to. Cy Twombly is not one of my favorite artists. You should look him up if you can. And if you don't like it at first, just give it some time. And you don't have to like it. It's just like, you know, a lot of people think they can't draw because they can't draw a perfect portrait. But you can, you know, really find your way, find your voice. It's about finding a visual language, whatever you're doing. Not to get all Bob Ross, you know, but we are painting live. It's a bit chaotic because, you know, I never really know what I'm really gonna do, how it's gonna turn out, especially when it's live. So bear with me. But yeah, right now I'm adding blues, I'm adding yellows, browns, tones to get this base layer to this piece. And then go back in and add some definition and tone black, because I use a lot of black in my work, black and blue, to depict, you know, people of color, my people, just humans in general. So another question is, how do I focus on one piece at a time, or is that even a thing? And that's a good question because it can really drive you crazy. The answer is I don't, but if I do for like a show, if I gotta finish one, like artists, I think we're sometimes enthusiasts. Like we really, if we love something, we really love it to the end. It's gonna drive us mad. We're gonna really focus our artists and paint and and divulge our lives to it. So if you got a piece that you're really into, it's almost like this itch where you can't get it out unless you're finished with it or unless you keep working on it. And I'm trying to get better at, letting things exist and letting things work itself out with me as I'm painting, as I'm moving, and not be so tempted to just focus on one and overwork it and not like it. I know a lot of artists who don't like a lot of their work because they feel like they overworked it. I do it all the time because I can't stop painting. And I'm like, if I feel like it's going good, I'm gonna keep going, to the point where it's like an obsession and I just end up not liking it. And that's not good. You don't want to do that. But I mean, again, most artists not gonna like their work anyway. We all very subconscious of them, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. What's up, Sarah? She asked, when beginning a piece, do you have a specific emotion you want to evoke, or does it usually develop later on during the process? Specific emotion, I mean, however I wake up in that mood, in that mode, whatever I'm in, that's just gonna come across in the work. I don't necessarily try to bring it out because, not only that it can get dark, but it can cause a resentment and a disturbance to a piece that you want to focus on. I try to paint in the mood of, I'm in the headspace that I'm in at the moment. Before, my work is very reactionary. It's very dancing around political. I remember I was in school and I was like one of the only Black people in like most of my classes, Black man, in all of my, like majority of them. And a lot of my work was, revolving on police brutality because if I wasn't speaking about it, then, it wouldn't be talked about in class. I remember that in class, there was a woman who didn't know who Black Panthers were. And, a lot of the stuff we think is common knowledge isn't always taught. So if you don't really speak about it, then a lot of people may not know. But that was the emotional space I was in then. And not that I'm not in it now, it's just there are ways to be, to put emotions in subject matters in a piece that's not so just forthright. It's not so in your face. You can be subdued about it. A lot of work still revolves on the same topics. It's just abstracted and in a different language now. My language is in a way that I cope and deal with a lot of situations. I paint pretty fast. So it looks like madness right now, but this is like quick, sort of studies for bigger pieces. I can't wait to start actually painting again in the studio with bigger work. I just got a new studio. My studio mate, Armani Howard. Check him out. He's a really dope artist. But we got one at Mana Contemporary, and I just can't wait to start making 5 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot works. Just big, and the more space you have, the more space you have to really put yourself in the work in each stroke and each motion, and really feel it and walk around. It's almost like a dance or like a sport. Like you're moving around. I get tired sometimes when I'm painting because I'm moving, I'm standing. I walk around, I pace like a crazy person. But yeah. Also, if you are on your painting as well, please show me. Let me know if you want to DM it to me. You just want to talk about it. You want to ask me a question. If you're not seeing it, please let me know. We can talk all day. I know we have a strict time limit on this joint right here. Shout out Malik. How do you go about getting in a receptive place the people's interpretations and opinions and critiques of your creations. um, you know, you gotta just be, you gotta remember that you make work for yourself. But if it's in a public, if you show it in a public space, you have invited opinions. And these opinions will follow your work and then they'll be there on it. But you gotta always remember that you make work for you. So it shouldn't matter what the opinions are of other people. Because if that happens, you're no longer making work for yourself, you're making work for them. And that shouldn't be what you got in it to do. But also, you gotta be open to critique. No one is perfect. We are all so growing. We all have, peers. We all have higher ups. We all have people. So I always have an ear to listen. I know since I've been out of school, I haven't been critiqued. There's no place for me to go and show my work and it to be ripped apart in a constructive way. And that's important, especially if you're young and you're doing stuff. Don't turn your ear to a critique. The critique is very important for the artist to grow. And even if you don't like that person, if you don't respect it, you gotta just listen, and make your own opinions. But yeah, that just comes with growth. With anything, no one likes getting told about their stuff or what they're doing. But as an artist, it's gonna happen for the rest of your career. It is what it is. And you just can't hold resentment. You can't have any grudges. You can't have them like that. Because it'll happen. If you feel like you don't like your work, you keep that to yourself. Because a lot of people might like your work. It is what it is. Don't project your insecurities onto the pieces, onto the public. Let them decide for them. I always like giving cold reads and in critiques instead of explaining myself. Because I feel like it's, I can make it one line and they can explain it for hours. That's the best artists can. But I kind of want to know what you feel from it. You might open my eyes to new stuff that I haven't seen or I didn't think about, or you might put your own, from your life, your own experiences in it, which most people do, and it's beautiful when they do that. So I think it's always good to do that and have an open mind with it. Sorry about that. That was a notification that should have been off. I've been using a lot of stars when in my work. Just thinking about this pandemic and what it means to be patriotic to a country that or the leaders that don't have our best interests at heart. The term "every nigga is a star" comes to mind. Sorry if I say profanity, but that's something I've been thinking about recently in my works, and I want to explore, continue to explore, and navigate through. And also, experimentation in art is like the best part about being an artist. I wouldn't say never limit yourself and never put yourself in a situation where you're just in a box, where you just do one thing. People, until you found the best thing that's for you, don't just limit it. Don't just limit one media. Don't limit one style. I don't know. Format. Explore. Get inspiration from other things. Go to the museum. Go to a different museum. Go to science and industry. Look at bone structure. Look at reptile skin for patterns. crazy, you know. I've been doing oil so long. I never thought about doing watercolor like that. So let's get some turmeric in here now. We wet it again and dry. And I'm kind of using it like a marker. I have it just a piece of the end. I wet it and I'm just moving around with it, just making stuff. We're gonna bring in some different materials soon. Where do I look for inspiration? I look all over. I mean, I'm inspired by a lot of things. I could be outside and see there's like a sketch in my neighborhood of like this weed plant that's like a lady just sitting there, and I thought it was just so cool. It's just weird stuff like that, like textures of clothes, textures in nature, the past, like old paintings that have these figures that are set up in a way in the golden ratio, and it's very flat, but still sort of 3D, Roman rendering. I mean, it's so much stuff you can look to and look out for, and be inspired by. Movies, I watch a lot of movies. I think movies are just a great place to focus on something and let the creative part of your mind just be free and just watch and soak it in. I think artists should be sponges. Obviously, you should just take everything in the world. Like we exist, we breathe, just like everybody else. But a lot of artists have a different way of thinking, and it's cool to see them soak it in and put it out in their own way. Right now I'm using shea butter. I just put it on my hand. It's pure. It's pretty solid color, and you can just rub it on. Put it in places you can't really see, but it gives this nice tone to it. Makes it glide. You could pull it. Your fingerprints will be in it. And it moisturizes your hands, so if you're ashy, it's a good way to stop being ashy. How do I stop? Miss Nancy asked, how do I stop myself from doing too much for the piece? I feel like I start to want to perfect everything and not like it as much. Well, I have no idea how to stop. I really just keep going until I hate it. So oftentimes just walk away. Just walk away. It's hard to walk away. But I think you gotta be diligent and you gotta be precise with every movement. I'm reading this book, my homie Eric Butler, shout out Eric Butler. He got me the Mamba Mentality book. And Kobe was very meticulous in all of his movements. He's very thoughtful, he's very just smart, reading the defense, reading the offensive, learning schemes, who he's going against. And I feel like you can take that mentality and depending if what material I'm using, what is it on? What are the colors or how they're gonna react? If I do this, can I bring it back? Can I lighten it up again? If I go too dark, if I muddy it up, it's hard to bring that back in. So maybe I should dance around, try it, do a study, get some paper before you do it. You test it out. And I'm talking because like this because I should be doing that too. Sometimes I don't really sketch. I do studies on the iPad for fun, but most of the time when I translate it to a piece, it's completely different. So it's always good to experiment, but be meticulous. Be like Kobe. Be very precise. In everything, all the movements, everything we do. I'm gonna start adding some darker color in here. Again, I'm painting on the back of a a container. Make sure it's white or clear so you can see what you're doing. And make sure you paint from your perspective, from your life, from something that you you're passionate about. Because if you're not passionate about anything or a particular subject and you're talking about, you put it in, it's gonna show through. It's gonna show through the work. Also, I mean, if you have a favorite instructor, if you have a favorite, artist, if you have somebody you like their work, always reach out to them. A lot of artists, it might seem like, quiet, cool, they play. We all weird, just like everybody else. We all talkative. Reach out. I'm sure people will reach back when they see it. Never hurts to ask to go to somebody's studio and be patient with them. Sometimes it's not a good time, but if it is, I'm sure they'll open it up. My studio, when it opens up, having people there. Might set something up through Social Works, that would be pretty cool. Again, this is a donation. You can donate straight to the link. Should be a black bar down there, you can see. Speed this up so I can do another one. What's up, Josh? How long have I been painting? When I was a kid, I used to want to be a cartoonist. So I'd always draw. And one of the reasons I feel so confident in the work that I do and just being an artist and thinking that as a career is because my mom, my dad, my uncle, they really nourished the artist in me. And they told me my work was good. They nourished it, right? So I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I remember I used to draw on my friend's cast. Everybody was like, yeah, you should, you're good. I was like the second best artist in my class. There was this girl named Morgan. She was always like, she drew these crazy, like, cartoon dolls. They look just like Disney characters. I was always like, damn, I can't draw that. but yeah, man, I always just thought, I wanted to do that as a cartoonist, maybe make like the Boondocks or make something like that. And then when I was in high school, the structure of academia and academics just wasn't something I was interested in. I knew I didn't want to continue to go down that path of going to college and studying something else if it wasn't something I really truly loved. And I decided I was painting in high school after that. That's when the graffiti thing was happening. When we were like 14, we used to, I was never really good. My homies was crazy at it. But I did characters, I did, faces and stuff like that. But painting through there. And then really when I was like 16, 17, really 15, 16, I went to Gallery 37, which is a great program in the Gate. That was the first time I ever got paid to do art. It's the first time I ever got a stipend and show that the art you do can come back to you and can make a living. You can make a living from it. And that's when I kind of knew, that that's what I wanted to do as a living and paint. So I've been painting all my life, but painting seriously 18. So I got to school. I've always been a designer. I'm in art direction, still to this day. But my real love, is painting. Design is very exhausting sometimes. And this should never be exhausting unless it's a physical toll because you've been painting all day or, making canvases all day. You should, mentally, when it's exhausting, you shouldn't want to stop, but you should never hate it. You should never feel like it's a job. This is always expression. This is always fun. And if it's not, you should just take a break, do something else for a minute and then come back to it. That's what everything though. Even if you come here and you just want to see somebody paint and you're not really an artist, whatever your craft is, you should always feel like you head in the right direction and you feel comfortable doing it. And if you don't, you should always take a break. Learn the best things I learned from school was I had a professor who literally pulled me up to the side and was like, from the work that you showed me at the beginning of school, before we even started classes, like, you know, a lot of people will have you show work that you did in the summer, blah, blah, blah. And the work that I was doing, because I was doing a lot of art direction for Save Money at the time. And I was not really focused at school. So he was like, if you need to take a year off, you should do that, because the work you just did, you showed me is not what you could be doing. And I was like, damn, I thought he was coming at me. But it was like the most, eye-opening thing, because he was right. I wasn't focusing, and you don't go, do something to do half-assed at it. You do it, you do it your fullest, so you don't do it at all. So that's what I would say. If you're not gonna do it, give it your all, and don't do it. Or take a break from it if you feel like it's getting daunting or like monotonous or boring or anything like that. Like I said, physically, exhausting right now. I'm sweating. I just painted this little thing. I don't even know why I'm sweating. That's it. It is what it is. I haven't painted a figure like this in a while. Like, I've been putting a lot of blacks and the figure with these colors of pop. I'm doing it. It's nice. It's kind of refreshing. It's kind of a while. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of speed this one up a little bit. Also, coffee is it's a great medium. I really don't like the smell of coffee, so I don't really use it. I don't even drink coffee like that. But if you like the smell, if you can stand that, go for it. Me, nah, it ain't for me. Matcha tea, anything like that. Soil, if you garden. Whatever around you, it could be material for your art. So a lot of artists who just use found objects, which make sculptures out of pre-existing things that already exist in the world we already know about, but it's arranging them in a different way that it makes it more visually pleasing. It makes it art, it makes it whatever you want to call it. I got some crayons right here too. I never feel like any media is above you. I never feel like anything is like, oh, I can't use this. Little kids use this. And sometimes, if you want to get up, you can charge your left hand. This is a good way to make it less controlled, less predictable, less obvious of what you're going to do. If you feel like you've been doing the same thing, you can switch it up. Left-handed. It's not supposed to, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to, in that way. And that's when you find the most, what Bob Ross say, happy accidents. R.I.P. man. I remember I was at Blake one day and I saw that he had some paint set. Yeah, liquid oil paint. I've never seen it before. And the dude tried to play me like, yeah, man, if you're a beginner, this might be good, but you should try something out. Damn. I lost something for beginners, I lost a lot of stuff. You consider the technical knowledge you've learned when studying art, color theory, material, studying the history of your craft, and applying the knowledge always necessary. I think with anything and everything you do, you should be a student of it. It's arrogant and ignorant to not know what came before you when doing something that you're doing in the present. You gotta know the past to not predict the same mistakes in the future, and then you not do the same thing. So you gotta know what's been made, how it's been done, to move on. If you feel like it's gonna influence your work, everybody's influenced by something. There's no way we can shut off our phones and not. I mean, it is obviously you can turn your phone and walk around through life, but you can't shut off your eyes. You see something. There's something visual referencing everything. Everything is based off of something. in the past. So it's like, I think it's very important to know your material, but you have to go through it and you have to do it. You have to use it to really know. So if you feel like you're not in school, you're not in a technical institution, you're not in a place that gives you formal lessons, it doesn't mean you can't learn your material. You can't learn your history. I mean, we live in an age where I can look up something that happened in 1864 in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? So look at the art that was done in the 1700s right now on the Art Institute website on Google. You can see all of it. So there's no excuse to not know what's going on in the past, or anything about your craft. I just think that photography, I've been trying to get, because I'm really bad at that, I'm gonna be honest. I've been trying to learn more about it, do more, get better at stuff. And it's just by learning, it's by practicing, it's by being technical. By honing your skills with everything. Like I said in the Kobe book, that man was a student. You like to win, you like to learn. You don't learn languages, if you don't like to learn, you're always a student. Why man knows happening on, right? And you learn something every day, like legit. Let's move on to a new one. I can keep going. I want to keep going. I don't have white watercolor. I have white acrylic. I can keep going, make space, keep going, add on to it to the paper. It's destroyed, but what? I was just preaching about stopping, so I'm gonna stop. So this new one, I'm gonna start with shading this time, add a ground to it. And use, materials that are unique to you. This is a material that for most every Black household. This is something that we grew up with. We put in our skin every day. We put in our skin, we use. So, if you got something else that you culturally you used to, or your mother used to do, your grandma used to do, implement that. People don't want to see that, This is another, I don't know, what am I thinking? Basketball player, his hands on the basketball. But the orientation, he's an idol, he's an icon, he's a god. Everybody looks up to people, Oh yeah, you can see that. And my hands are very oily right now. It's kind of funny because I feel like it's gonna slip out of my hand. And that's what happens when you shea butter your bare hand. Black soap is always a good thing too. That's a good medium. There's an artist named Rashid Johnson. If you don't know, you should look up. Pours like black soap on his paintings and drips it everywhere, and has it as a centerpiece, piece of media, that he uses all the time in his work. It's really interesting. There's people who do stuff with water, do stuff with tile, with fabric and weaving it into a piece and all types of stuff. There's so much stuff you can do with art and painting and whatnot. So it's all fun. It's all love. So we're at the 4-minute mark. Still gonna be painting. Just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. You don't have to do that. I mean, we all at home. We should be at home, or to stay away from people. But there's so much other stuff you could be doing. And y'all took the time out. I appreciate it. It's important right now. Community is more important than ever right now. So that's why, again, shout out to social work for doing this for the kids, for people. When at a time when our country is not doing that much to support us, help us. It's important that we pick up the slack, help each other. Again, donation, fundraiser for kids trying to graduate, trying to see a prom, trying to have fun, trying to do things that I've done that this year this virus didn't allow us to do, which is always no fun. You might see me doing this, being a little bit colorblind. You gotta make sure, and if they don't write it down, you gotta use your best inference of what color it is. Any last things? Oh, honestly, if you got any one last question you may want to ask me, but again, don't feel free. Just to rush, you can always hit me up. You get me? You got a burning question, or if you just thought something later, no worries. But yeah, again, shout out Social Works, the workshops. A lot of my friends have been on here as well. You check them out, or they will be upcoming. A lot of dope artists in the city that we live in that, just check out. You never know, you can learn something. I'm gonna check them out. Y'all always learning. This is my first time doing it. I truly feel like Bob Ross right now. It's kind of crazy. But hey. Yeah. I will do that. I'm gonna show you what I was working on. I don't want to ruin it, but again, can't ruin our work. Actually, I'm on the computer. This is the quick one I was doing. 3 minutes. This one, and we can maybe do something where we auction them off, sell them, help fundraise and stuff like that. I'll work. It's kind of. Oh, go ahead. All right, peace, y'all. Have a good one. Have a good day. Keep paying, all that good stuff.
Social works, social works, social works, social works, yeah, S works, everyone put it in their hands. It's a vibe, they're waiting in line to get up and flood up the stands. Yeah, we in this together, we feel like fam. It's all about peace, so pull up with friends. You better come through with you and your crew, cause everybody going in. S work, so we keep it lit. You can see how we move the city from the west side to the east. Ooh, you can feel how we leave through. It's all about the youth. Change the world through the tunes. Make the world to a better place. Saying S works what we do.
Social works, social works, social works, social, social works, social works, social works. Social works. Keep my family out the dirt. This organization, we stopping no Satan and open, but we call it works. Action and Taylor, the killer verse. I do on my foot, my city hurt. They killing our babies, this war going crazy. I pray for my city to reimburse. Running schools for the kids. With the city, yeah, we litty. All I know is it's work. Working hard, keep it busy. Know the life keep it tricky, but please just let me finish. Let me just be a witness. S works, handle business.
Social works, social works, social works, social, social works, social works, social works.
Ready or not, here we come. South side, west side, east side, north side. Up on the run, we ain't for the none. We came in the party, we here for the fun. Celebrate life, the party we young. Sky's the limit, we looking above. We up in the sun, no matter what, we stay on the run. Ha, S work, do your thing. S work, keep it lit. Bullseye, keep your aim. Yeah, we up on the jib. North side, that's the way. Ready or not, here we come. S work, keep the energy. Look,